What's goody to any and everybody who may be listening? Okay. I'm going to be talking about a transitional house that I lived in over in South Central Los Angeles. Now, this was a very eventful time and a bunch of characters, and let's just get right into it, okay? But first of all, let me go ahead and do some decrees and declarations. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fabrics that got caught up, lost, stolen, trapped, stuck, or lodged within the midst of that house as a whole during the duration of my stay, are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. Now I'm going to be starting with the manager. I forgot her name, but she was the lady that that I filled out my application with. She accepted me in there immediately, and right off the bat, we did hit it off. She was really cool. Okay. The only thing about her was that she was on pills. She was on Vicodin, Percocet, and I would catch her, high in the driver's seat, high driving, nodding out, and things of this nature. Also, I gotta say that there was the instance where I picked up on the energy of Beelzebub. Okay. Now, I picked up on this energy before. Okay. Now, I gotta tell you how this energy hit me. Like, this was all of a sudden, like in a split second, as she was driving off, the way she looked. She was so determined, or something like that, to get to her. She was so determined. It was the look in her eyes, something like that. And it was a split second where I saw Beelzebub. I saw the possession. I saw her possessed by Beelzebub. I also saw this same possession in Sharita and Shrimp Po Boy, in Danielle, and in Darrell. I have seen this Beelzebub possession, and it happens just like that. It happens in just like a split second where you can see this demon. Okay, this demon, it be on a rampage, or it be so determined to get it. It's the eyes, it be the focus, something like that. Where I saw Beelzebub. Now I did not see how he is depicted, how the drawings. I didn't see that. I saw that energy. It was the energy. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do some decrees and declarations. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up within the manager, that lady of that transitional house, I decree and declare that any and all of my energy that got caught up, lost, stolen, trapped, stuck, or lodged within the energy of Beelzebub and within Beelzebub itself are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child, which is none other than me. Okay. Um. Now, what else did I want to say? Let's move on to the people in the house. Again, this was quite the eventful house. There was a lot of drama. We were in South Central Los Angeles. Okay. Let's talk about my roommate. The first roommate that I had, he was a gay dude. He was feminine. He did polish his nails and things of this nature, but he was also a witch. Now, what made this individual so weird is that I would wake up and catch him staring at me. Okay. Now, it was no secret that he was a witch. She told me that he was a witch, and he would also be up over there, um, uh, writing these spells in his book. And I believe I believe he was doing love spells. I'm not sure what kind of spells he was doing, but they were spells that he was doing. Okay. Now let's go ahead and call this energy back. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up, lost, stolen, stuck, or lodged within that gay dude, I forgot his name, are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. So this just got too weird for me, and I couldn't take it no more. I went to the manager and I had to tell her I gotta move out. Okay. So I moved out of the room with him, and I moved over with my second roommate. Let's get into the second roommate, because this one was a little bit more scarier than that first. Now, the first one was not scary. It was just weird. But this second one, and again, here we go with this Beelzebub energy. Now, this individual was on that churn real bad. Okay, and I can recall me one night with him. I heard this real loud bang. There was like this real loud bang that made me. It made me wake up, and I saw this individual over there on his bed. And as I'm saying this, I got massive chills. I have not gotten chills like this in a long time. That man was staring at me when I woke up. But this was very different from that stare that the former roommate gave me. This was a full-blown possession. Okay? Now, that demon was up in him. Now, it's been a while since I picked up on this Beelzebub energy. But it does come up from time to time. Let's go ahead and do some decrees and declarations. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up, lost, stolen, trapped, stuck, or lodged within that second roommate, are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up within the midst of that Beelzebub energy and Beelzebub itself, are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. I decree and declare Beelzebub blocked, Beelzebub itself and the energy of Beelzebub blocked and banished from my auric and energy field. This is permanent across all realms, timelines, and dimensions. Okay. Now, let's talk about the neighbor across the hall from the first roommate. Now, when I was up in there with that first roommate, it was two gay dudes in there, so I could imagine what the other people were thinking, which I did not really give a fuck, but there was absolutely not shit going on between myself and that gay roommate, because number one, I was celibate. Number two, I have self-control. Number three, I'm not trying to fuck everybody. Okay? Even as a man, even in a man body, I had self-control. Okay? So none of that was going on. Okay, but this dude, Raymond, it felt like he was threatened by my presence. Okay? And he would be outside of, again, here we go. I'm getting Beelzebub again. I'm getting Beelzebub. Here we go with this dude that would stand outside of the door to make sure that I could hear him talking shit about, don't try to, don't be trying to suck my dick, or don't be trying to fuck me, stuff like that, as if he would be someone that I would be looking at or interested in or studying in any way. Let's go ahead and call the energy and light sparks back. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that got caught up, lost, stolen, stuck, trapped, or lodged within Raymond and that girlfriend of his are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. Now, let's get on the neighbor who lived downstairs from the second roommate. Now, this was an individual who definitely an energy vampire. The way he looked at me as if he thought that he was scaring me or pumping fear into my heart, which he was not doing none of that. I would look at him and look at that hairline and look at that perm that he had in that head and just look at him like he was a motherfucking clown. Okay? So we got into it a few times. Let's go ahead and call the light sparks back from him and that old girlfriend of his because we got into it too. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that got caught up within Red and his girlfriend, because me and her got into it about the shower when she shouldn't even been there, released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay? Now, what is next? What I want to talk about next? Now, let's move on to the most important happening in this house. I told you this was very eventful. Okay, now this one right here was actually really scary. Okay, we were in. Again, this was South Central LA. Now, something had happened with one of the OGs in the house, with one of the older guys in the house. I think he was a Crip or a Blood, and one of the other younger guys in that house, they had gotten into it or something had happened, right? Okay. And later on that night, a Crip. Now, the door was open. This Crip came straight into the house. Okay. This Crip also came into the room where I was at. Like, I was the only one in this house. This individual pulled out a gun on me and questioned me about what happened. I believe he even thought that I was the dude that had gotten into it with him. Okay. Now, this was a little fear. I can't even lie. There was a little fear. Although I knew that I was divinely protected. I did know that I was protected, and I did know that won't shit gonna happen. There was a little fear because I couldn't believe that he came in there and had that gun and pulled that gun out and pointed it towards me like that. Let's go ahead and do some decrees and declarations. Call them light sparks back. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that got caught up, lost, stolen, stuck, trapped, lodged within that dark-skinned dude who came up in the house with that gun, questioning me about what had happened, are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up, lost, stolen, stuck, or lodged within the experience itself of having that gun pulled out on me and him telling me to empty my pockets and everything. I had to do all that, empty my pockets and everything of this nature are released, removed, freed, and brought on back to the mother, the father, and the child. I gotta also talk about this other dude. Now, me and this dude, we were kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? But one thing, he liked to get into conversations about religion and spirituality. He would get so sweaty and so hot and seemingly mad about what he was talking about. Okay, the conversations got pretty intense. I'm gonna have to call my energy vampire because he was like an energy vampire. I decree and declare that and he also had hit on me. And it was a no for me. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul friends that got caught up within that dude, I forgot his name. He was kind of big, but I sold my TV to him. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul friends that got caught up within that dude who I used to have those conversations about religion with, and whom I sold my TV to, are released, removed, freed, and brought on home to the mother, the father, and the child. Now, this Beelzebub energy was prominent in this house. I do also want to talk about Facebook because this wasn't during this time, but this is another example of this Beelzebub energy where I had joined Facebook. Now this was like a stealth, like very stealthy. It was very stealthy. I had me and that clan were already estranged. This was a very stealthy approach that I took. I joined Facebook. Added friends, just like random people, but I also added people from Raleigh, so that it would make sure to get back to them. And then I started, first I started posting little regular posts, but then I started to unleash the dragon upon that ass and call them out for the injustices that happened. Now, when I started to do that, the energy of them shifted, and that's when I could see this Beelzebub energy, but I could see it. I could see it in them after they had gotten exposed. It's like this energy was bruised, and it allowed for me to see it more clearly within them. And I'm talking about Sharita, Danielle, Darrell, Po Boy, and all of them. I could see that Beelzebub energy very clearly. Now let's go ahead and call the light sparks back from that. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul friends that got caught up within that stealth mission on Facebook, where I went on there to stir the pot. Okay, and when I stirred that pot and they got bruised, I could detect that Beelzebub energy. I could see it very clearly in them. Okay, and it's very hard to explain. But anyway, I think that's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.